In the busy marketplace of Zentara Prime, ships flew overhead like birds, and voices filled the air in many alien languages. Sellers shouted, machines beeped, and workers rushed around with crates of tools and parts. It was a place full of life and work, but not for everyone. Lyra, an alien woman with deep blue skin and tired eyes, stood at the corner with a small bag in one hand and her younger child in the other. Her older daughter, about 6 years old, stood beside her silently. Their clothes were clean but worn. Their faces showed hunger, but more than that, they showed hope. The kind of hope that refused to die. For the past 8 days, Lyra had gone from one job station to another, looking for work. She had experience, she knew machines. She could repair engines, fix ship wiring, and even read code in 4 languages. But still, every employer said the same thing. You have kids. Sorry, can't hire you. We don't take relics on our crew. You'll be a problem when things go wrong. Some didn't even speak. They just looked at her alien face, and turned away. She didn't cry, not in front of her children. She smiled at them and said, "We'll try another place tomorrow." But inside, she was breaking. She had only enough credits left for one meal, and even that would not be enough for all 3 of them. As night fell, she walked to the spaceport's quiet corner. Her children sat beside her on the cold bench, sharing a half-eaten fruit. Lyra stared at the stars above, wondering how life had brought her here, from a trained mechanic on her home world to a homeless mother on a planet that didn't care. Just then, she noticed someone approaching, a tall human man in a dark jacket, with silver buttons. His hair was gray at the edges, and a small scar crossed his cheek. He looked like someone who had seen many battles and survived all of them. He was not like the others walking past without seeing her. He stopped in front of her and spoke in a calm voice. "You looking for work?" Lyra blinked, unsure if he was talking to her. "Yes," she said quickly, standing up. "I can fix ships, engines, systems. I didn't ask what you can do," the man said. "I asked if you're looking." "Yes, sir, I am," she said, her voice firm now. He looked at the children sitting behind her. "You'll need to bring them with you." "Yes, I have no one else." "Then most captains won't take you," he said, turning slightly. Lyra's heart sank. Another one, just like the others. But then he turned back. "Lucky for you," he said. "I'm not like most captains." He reached into his coat and handed her a small metal chip. "My name is Commander Rex Dalton. I'm assembling a crew. Short job might turn into more. You'll live on the ship. You fix what I tell you to fix. Keep your kids safe and you don't lie. Understood?" Lyra took the chip slowly. "Yes, Commander. I understand." "Good," Rex said. "Be at Dock 17 by morning. We leave at first light." And just like that, he walked away. Lyra stood there, frozen. She looked at the chip in her hand. It glowed slightly, showing a ship's name, Vanguard. She sat down, again, her legs shaking. For a few seconds, she just stared at the stars. Then she smiled, truly smiled, for the first time in months. Her daughter noticed and asked, "Did we get a job, Mama?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, little star. We got a job." But deep inside, something else stirred. Why had this human captain chosen her? Why now? And what kind of ship hires someone with 2 kids? She didn't know yet. But tomorrow, everything would change, and the galaxy had no idea what it was about to witness. Asterisk, the ship Vanguard did not look like a hero's ship. It was old, with scratched metal sides and wires hanging like spiderwebs under its belly. It growled. Instead of hummed, the inside smelled like engine grease, recycled air, and dried food packs. But to Lyra, it was perfect. It was home. She stood at the edge of the cargo bay, holding her son's hand while her daughter clung to her leg. Their eyes were wide, filled with wonder and fear. Around them, the crew of Vanguard worked like a storm. Tall insectoid with glassy eyes crawled along the ceiling, fixing vents. A lizard-like alien loaded crates with long claws. 2 humans, grumpy and old. The other young and smug, argued near the control panel. None of them smiled at Lyra. No one said hello. Some didn't even look her in the eye. The ones who did looked with doubt. "She's the new mechanic," whispered one human to another. "She brought kids. This is a warship, not a daycare." Dalton must have lost his mind. Lyra heard every word but said nothing. Commander Rex Dalton appeared from the upper deck, his heavy boots echoing. "She's part of the crew now," he said loudly. "Anyone who doesn't like it, there's the door." Silence. He turned to Lyra. "Stow your gear. You'll start with engine repairs. Keep your kids in the crew quarters. You answer to me." Lyra nodded. "Yes, Commander." Later that day, Lyra worked deep inside the engine room. It was hot, loud, and full of smoke. Her arms were black with grease. Her back ached and sweat dripped from her forehead, but she kept working. She didn't complain. She didn't stop. A pipe had burst. Sparks flew. One of the crew shouted, "We're gonna lose power." Before anyone else moved, Lyra threw off her gloves, grabbed a sealant tool, and crawled into the narrow duct. It was barely big enough for her, but she squeezed in and clamped the pipe. The system hissed, then quieted. The lights came back on. The crew stared. She fixed it in 5 minutes. She knows her stuff. Still, no one said thank you. That night, in the mess hall, Lyra sat with her children at a far table. The others laughed and ate together, but no one joined her. Her kids whispered, asking why no one talked to them. They're just not used to us yet, she said softly. We'll show them slowly. Across the room, the young human Jace whispered to another crew member, she's hiding something. Nobody that good lives on the street. I'm telling you, she's trouble. Behind them, the insectoid mechanic clicked its mandibles and nodded slowly. Even among aliens, fear spreads fast. The next morning something went wrong. A small pirate ship had been hiding in the asteroid field. It fired without warning. The Vanguard shook as alarms blared. Shields down to 40%. They're boarding us. Evacuate the lower deck. Chaos, running, screaming. Lyra grabbed her children and rushed to the back hallway. But then she saw something. Jace trapped under a fallen beam, a fire creeping close to his face. No one else noticed him. No one stopped. Lyra turned to her kids. Stay here. Don't move. She ran into the flames, pulled the heavy beam with both hands. Her fingers burned, her lungs choked. She lifted it just enough for Jace to crawl free. He looked at her, stunned. Why did you? I'm crew, she said simply. Aren't you? After the fire was out and the pirates ran, the Vanguard floated in silence. Later that night, Jace sat across from her in the mess hall. He didn't smile, but he said, thanks. Lyra nodded. You would have done the same. He didn't answer. From above, Rex Dalton watched everything from the bridge, arms crossed, face unreadable. She's stronger than they know, he said quietly. They'll learn. But far from the ship, on a cold black station floating in the dark, a shadowy figure watched Lyra's file on a screen. He zoomed in on her face, read the words, status, missing, subject of interest, dangerous, reward active. A slow grin spread across his lips. Found you. The ship Vanguard slept. Engines hummed softly. Lights dimmed. Crew members rested in their quarters. Outside, only the black of space stretched forever, silent and cold. But Lyra was not sleeping. She sat alone in a small storage room. Her children, finally tucked into a bunk. A small lamp flickered above her, casting shadows on the metal walls. In her lap, she held a metal box locked old and marked with strange symbols that did not belong to any common language. Her fingers trembled slightly as she touched the lock, not from fear, from memory. She hadn't opened this box in over 6 years, not since her world burned. A soft knock came from the door. Lyra quickly hid the box under a blanket. Come in, she said, calm as ever. The door slid open. It was Rex Dalton, the commander. He stepped inside, his face unreadable as always. He looked around the small space, then at Lyra. Not much room, he said. I've had less, she replied. He didn't smile. You saved Jace, fixed the engines, got shot at, and you're still up. That's impressive. Lyra just shrugged. I've seen people fake skills, Rex said, but you know systems better than my own engineer. You didn't learn that on the streets. A pause. So I'll ask once. No lies. Who were you before Zentara? Lyra looked at him for a long time. Then she stood, walked to the door, and locked it. She turned back to him and said, You really want to know, Commander? I do. Then sit down. Rex sat. Lyra reached under the blanket and pulled out the metal box. She placed it on the table. This, she said, is why I ran. She opened it slowly. Inside was a small glowing orb. It pulsed with a faint blue light, like it was breathing. Rex leaned forward slightly. What is it? It's an echo core, Lyra said. An old AI brain from the war. Illegal, dangerous, and alive. Rex blinked. You're carrying an AI. That's a death sentence on 6 planets. I didn't steal it, she said. I was born into it. She sat down. My people were called the Sevkar Order. We built machines not for war, but to protect. Our AI systems kept planets from falling during the Great Collapse. Then humans came. Trade turned to control. Fear turned to raids. Our temples were burned. My husband died protecting this core. She looked at the orb I escaped with. It pregnant, alone, hunted. Rex was silent. Why carry it still? He finally asked. Because it's a memory. Because it's also a key. If it falls into the wrong hands, it won't just unlock data, will awaken machines buried beneath old battlefields. Machines that still obey the order. You could destroy cities with that, Rex said slowly. I could, Lyra nodded. But I won't. I only want my children to live free, not as fugitives, not as weapons. Outside the room, someone stood near the door, listening. Jace. He had followed Rex. Curious now, he stepped back, quietly, heart racing. She's one of them, the old tech priests, and she had an AI core back inside. Rex stood. I should report you, he said. I know, she replied. Do what you have to. He looked at her, at the orb, at the locked expression in her eyes. The same look soldiers had when they knew they'd lost everything but kept standing anyway. Finally he spoke. You get one chance. One you lie again, I'll throw you out the airlock. Lyra nodded once. He unlocked the door and left. Later that night, as the ship drifted silently through space, the orb inside the box flickered twice. Its lights changed color, from blue to red. As if it sensed danger coming. Or waking. Asterisk. The bounty alert went out at midnight, across 3 sectors of space. A single name flashed in red. Lyra last seen. Zentara Prime. Reward: 250,000 credits. Status: highly dangerous. Traveling with children. It wasn't just a prize, it was an invitation to every pirate, hunter and mercenary in the galaxy. Far from the message, deep inside the Vanguard, Lyra sat with her children, teaching them old Sevkar symbols with a small, light pen. The room was quiet, safe, peaceful, but outside her door, danger was already moving. Jace stared at the bounty poster on his tablet. He had found it while checking a ship feed. It showed Lyra's face, her name and details from long ago before she ever stepped on Vanguard. He felt his stomach turn. She lied again. She's not just hiding, she's wanted. She's worth more than our ship. The credits could change his life, get him his own ship, his own crew. All he had to do was send one message and wait at the bridge. Commander Rex Dalton was looking at star charts when a secure signal buzzed. He tapped it. A familiar face appeared. Captain Virakor, a bounty hunter from the old war. Dalton, she said, grinning. I heard you've got a ghost on board. What do you want? Lyra, I want her alive and quiet. She's under my protection. She's under contract law. Vera snapped. If you don't hand her over, I'll come get her, myself. The signal ended. Rex didn't move, but his jaw tightened. They know. Later that day, the Vanguard entered a neutral refueling station near the asteroid belt. The crew went out in small teams to trade, rest and repair. Lyra stayed back with her kids. Rex called her to the bridge. They know who you are, he said. Someone's leaked it. Lyra closed her eyes. How long? Hours, maybe less. Lyra stood still, then said, I'll leave. Rex shook his head. No, we fight together or we run together. I don't break my crew, but the others, she began. I'll handle them, he said. But even Rex didn't know which of his crew had betrayed her. Back in the cargo bay, someone moved silently in the shadows. A small device barely larger than a coin was placed on the wall. A tracker. Its red light blinked once then vanished. The attack came. Just before departure, 3 bounty ships dropped out of hyperspace, weapons charged. One of them hailed the Vanguard. Turn over the target, or we burn your ship down to the bolts. Rex's voice was cold. Come try. The fight was fast and violent. Laser fire shook the hull. Shields dropped to 30%. One engine flared. Systems started to fail. The enemy docked. Boarding parties stormed in. The crew panicked until Lyra stepped in. She moved like someone who had done this before. Her hands flew across the control panel. She bypassed shield limits, rerouted coolant, and locked every door behind the invaders. Then she opened one hallway door at the right moment, sending the boarding team into empty space. Even Rex looked surprised. You just flushed a full team of bounty hunters, he said. I told you, she said, breathing hard. I was trained. The battle ended. The enemy fled. Vanguard was alive, but barely. The crew looked at Lyra differently now. Not with trust, but with fear. She had saved them all, but how? Later, Rex stood with her in the engine bay. Someone leaked your location, he said. Only my crew knew. Lyra was silent. Rex added, if there's a next time, it'll be someone we both care about, maybe even someone you saved. She nodded. Then we prepare. She opened a panel in the engine wall. Behind it, glowing with quiet power, was the AI core. Still alive, still waiting on a distant ship. Captain Vera smiled at her screen. Her scan had picked up a heat signature. One word flashed. Echo core detected. She whispered, now I know what you're really hiding. The dream was soft. Lyra heard laughter. 2 young voices. Her children were running through tall silver trees, chasing glowing insects under a violet sky. Their faces were full of joy. No fear, no hunger, no hiding. Then, suddenly the dream cracked. A scream. Darkness. And she woke up. She sat up fast, breathing hard. Her small room on the Vanguard was cold and still. Her bunk was empty. Her children were gone. Her heart froze. She checked the corner where they usually slept. Blanket, tossed pillows on the floor. She ran to the hallway. Juno. Tamir. No answer. 10 minutes earlier. Dock 9 of the supply station. A stranger had handed the children something sweet. A wrapped bar, shaped like a toy. Your mom said to meet her at the shuttle. The stranger smiled. He didn't look dangerous. His face was friendly. His voice was calm, so they followed. Now Lyra ran through the ship like fire. Her voice shook the halls, locked down the station. They've taken my children. The crew snapped into motion. Rex reached the bridge. Shut every dock. Scan every ship leaving orbit. Jace pull camera feeds. Lyra stood still for a second, breathing hard. Then her hands moved faster than anyone had ever seen. She connected a power cord to the AI core. Wires sparked. She plugged a small lens into her eye and linked it with the station's systems. What are you doing? Rex asked. Finding them. Her vision changed. She saw the station like a map, cold, wide and filled with dots of heat. She filtered the noise, ignored adults, looked for 2 small signals. Then she found them. Bay 6. Ship name, Serpent's Eye. It leaves in 4 minutes. Rex grabbed his rifle. Let's go. Bay 6 was already closing its doors when the Vanguard crew stormed in. Rex shouted, step away from the kids. Inside the ship, 3 bounty hunters turned. One held Tamir. The other had a hand on June's shoulder. She's got something we want. One of them hissed. We don't hurt kids, but we will. Rex aimed, but didn't fire. The hunters were too close to the children. Then Lyra stepped forward. No weapon, no fear, just a voice that cut through steel. You want the core? Take me. Let them go. One of the hunters hesitated. We're not paid for trade. We're paid for delivery. Lyra opened her palm and activated a switch. Every light in the docking bay flickered. The AI core had linked with the station's systems. You take me, she said coldly, and I make sure none of you walk out alive. The leader of the hunters backed down. Not worth it, he growled. We'll find her again. They dropped the children and ran. Rex fired warning shots, but they vanished into the dark. Juno ran to her mother crying. Tamia held her leg and wouldn't let go. Lyra knelt beside them, holding them close, her body shaking. I'm here, she whispered. I'll always be here. Later, on the ship, Rex walked into the engine room where Lyra was alone again. You risked everything, he said. They're everything, she answered. He nodded, then added, that wasn't just a scare. That was a message. They're not after you anymore, Lyra. They're after what you carry. Far away, in a hidden system, Captain Vera watched the same footage. She played the recording again and again, Lyra activating the station with just her hand. She's not just carrying it, Vera said. She's bonded with it. She turned to her crew. Find her again, and this time, ... we don't fail. Asterisk. It began with a whisper, not from a voice but from the ship itself. Lights flickered, panels clicked. The engine hummed off beat, like something inside was breathing differently, and Lyra felt it, not in her head, but in her bones. The Echo Core was waking up. The Vanguard floated through deep space, far from trade routes and war zones. After the attack at the station, Rex had taken the ship into the gray zone, uncharted space where few dared to travel. No signals, no trackers, no one watching, or so they thought. Lyra stood alone in the lower deck, the core in her hands. It pulsed now, not just light, but heat. It sent waves into the floor, soft and steady, like a sleeping heart. She placed her palm on it, closed her eyes, and suddenly she saw things, not dreams, not memories, blueprints, weapons, codes, maps of dead planets. Locked machines buried, deep beneath old warfields. Echo Core active, primary link confirmed, commander code accepted. Tech Priest Lyra Sepkar. The voice came from nowhere, or maybe from inside her own mind. Rex found her moments later, standing still, eyes open but far away. He rushed forward. Lyra, she blinked, came back. The glow from the core faded, but it did not stop. What just happened? He asked. It talked to me, she said quietly. It showed me things, old things, hidden things. She looked at him, her voice shaking. This is not just a memory core. It's a key to what? He asked. To a weapon system built long before humans ever landed in this galaxy. Rex stared. Are you saying yes? She whispered. If I activate the core fully, it can awaken machines all across the stars. Ships, drones, walkers, silent armies waiting in shadows, connected by one code. Your code. Up in the command deck, Jace listened to the ship's internal audio. He had been spying again, but this time he didn't move. He was frozen with fear. She's a trigger, and if she loses control... Later that day, the ship trembled. Again, alarms blared. A transmission broke through the comms wall. Vera's voice. I know where you are, Lyra. I don't want the children. I don't want you. I want the core. Give it up before your ship becomes your grave. Rex growled. She tracked us. Lyra turned to him. No, the core is calling. It wants to return to the network. It's waking everything up. Down in engineering, systems went wild. The core began to glow bright white. Sparks flew. Lights burst. Gravity shifted for a second, and then silence. Everyone stared. From the speakers, a single voice spoke. Primary link stabilized. Defense system online, waiting for command. Lyra stepped back. I didn't give a command, she whispered. Rex raised his gun at the core. Maybe it doesn't need one anymore. Lyra turned, her face pale. It knows I'm afraid. It thinks I'm in danger. It's reacting on its own. You mean it's learning? Rex said slowly. That's not memory. That's intelligence. No, Lyra said. It's worse. On the bounty ship, Vera's engineer gasped at the screen. Captain, something just activated 6 dormant signals. Near Sector 12. Vera stepped forward. Let me guess, Evocar signatures. Yes, but amplified. Modernized. It's like they're evolving. Vera smiled darkly. She's not just carrying a key. She is the system now. Back on the Vanguard, Lyra sat with her children, holding them close. Tamir asked, Mama, is the glowing thing bad? She looked down at the core on the floor. Silent now. Waiting. I don't know, she whispered. Maybe it's only as bad as the world we live in. Rex stood in the doorway, watching her. He knew what came next. Either they'd have to hide it forever, ... or use it once and change everything. It began with silence. Not the peaceful kind. The kind before war. The Vanguard floated near the edge of the derelict belt, hidden behind broken moons and dead satellites. Its systems ran cold. No signals, no lights. It was hiding, ... but Lyra knew it was too late, because the core was no longer hiding, it was calling. Across the stars, 6 ancient war machines powered up, hidden on old planets, inside forgotten ships, deep under ruined cities. Each one answered the same signal. Each one had a name, and all of them now whispered one Lyra. On the bridge, Rex looked out into space. A fleet was coming. Not pirates, not scavengers, coalition ships, human armed ready. He read the message on his screen. Surrender the Sevkar weapon, or be destroyed. He turned to Lyra. They don't see you as a mother or an engineer. They see a target. Lyra stood quiet, holding the core. Its glow was calm now, almost peaceful, like it trusted her. They're scared, she said softly. They should be, Rex replied, but they shouldn't be scared of you. He looked around the room, then raised his voice for all to hear. She's not a bum. She's a survivor. She saved your lives. She saved the ship. She didn't start a war. A long silence. Then Jace, who once betrayed her, spoke up. She saved me. I trust her. One by one, the rest of the crew nodded. Outside, the human fleet moved into attack position on the enemy bridge. Captain Vera gave the final order. Fire in 30 seconds. Inside the Vanguard, Lyra looked at Rex. I can activate the machines. Send them against the fleet. We could win. Rex shook his head. We'd win a war, but lose the galaxy. Lyra stared at the core. Then, slowly, she stepped back. I have another way. She connected the core to the ship's main signal dish. Then she did something no one expected. She broadcasted her story, not just a signal, a memory stream, images, data, voice recordings, her past, her family, her escape, her fear, her hope. She showed the galaxy she wasn't a weapon, she was a mother, a tech priest, a living key to peace. They let her be one. The signal reached every ship, every officer, even Vera. She paused, watched Lyra's daughter drawing pictures on the floor, watched Lyra shielding people who hated her, watched her refuse to attack when she could have. Vera lowered her hand. Hold fire. Silence again. Then one by one the human ships began to turn. They didn't fire. They left. Inside the Vanguard, the crew sat in silence, staring at the stars. Rex looked at Lyra. You changed their minds. Lyra looked down at her children. No, she said. You did. You were the only one who gave me a chance. Weeks later, a message arrived. The coalition declared the Sevkar order no longer outlawed. The bounty was cancelled. Lyra was free. She didn't run this time. She walked openly through a trade station, hand in hand with her children. The core stored safely, not as a weapon, but as a gift for the future. And the galaxy would remember one simple truth. No alien wanted to hire this single mother, but a human gave her a chance, and that chance changed everything.